Another thing is that you all are extremely confused. I would say, I don't want to say confused because I don't want it to sound like I'm saying something negative, or maybe just misinformed, and or you just didn't realize a certain process when it comes to things manifesting in your life. If you ask God for something, correct? And I know a lot of people are going to get mad because of the terminology I use, because I say manifest and I say affirmations and stuff like that. To me, it's all the same thing. The universe is the universe. God created the universe. To me, it go hand in hand. If I need things to align in my life and I pray to God for it to align, I believe that He's going to do things in the universe for it to align in my life. I mean, y'all could say, "Oh, you just rented it all together so it could make sense to you," but that's all that has to make sense is for me to think, for things to happen in my life. But when things do happen, and you pray and you ask God for an increase in your finances or whatever, when it happens, like, you're surprised that it happened, which makes me believe that you never trusted God in the first place. You didn't think that it was going to happen. Like, when things happen for me, especially when I was very, 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 very heavy into manifesting things in my life, to be honest, I was never surprised when it happened. I was always grateful when it happened. Never surprised. Never surprised. Time after time after time. Things would come to me instead of me searching for things. I want a hair salon. For some reason, I would get detoured and I would have to drive into a plaza or get redirected by my GPS and have to make a U-turn in the plaza. And boom, what's there? An empty salon. Oh, okay. Now the opportunity is there. I can either look at it and say, "Oh, what a coincidence," or I could walk up to the window, get the number, call the people, see how much the rent is, see how much they want to move in, see what I need to sign a lease, and have a salon. The other part is that, "Oh, yeah, I really want it, but I don't know how I'm gonna afford it, or I don't know how, whatever the but is." Now you basically negating everything God said He was going to do for you. How He aligned everything into the universe for it to happen for you. Now you're negating what He can do because of the mindset that you have. I tell my children, I say this to my kids, children, some adults as well. When God do something to manifest something in your life, you've been praying for something, you've been asking God for something, and He allows you to receive it. Why are you surprised? And like I say, you should always be in the place of gratitude. Lord, I thank you for allowing this to happen in my life in a speedy fashion. But that's just like you asking your mom or telling your mom that you're hungry. "Mom, I'm hungry. Can you make me some food?" And your mom be like, "Sure." And she gonna make the food. Or maybe she'll be like, "No, I don't feel like it." But then she make the food anyways. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, you're really not surprised. Unless you just got a mean mama. If your mom is mean, then yes, anything she do is going to be a surprise. But people with a normal lifestyle, or, having a parent that has always been there for you, like God has always been there for you, having a parent that's always been there for you and had your back and made sure that, you're without lack or whatever, it's not a surprise that she cooked you food. But now you're grateful that she cooked you food. Thank you, Mom. Same thing. Thank you, God. When these things line up in your life, just be grateful for it. That's all He's asking you to do. You got to remember that God created you for you to use Him to get to the purpose that He created you for. Yeah, I know that's going over your head. If God didn't need you for a certain purpose or a certain thing in life, He wouldn't have created you. Just plain and simple. Or when people go, "This is my thing," and I ain't saying this right, this is just me. This is not in the Bible, nothing else. You have people who are place fillers on earth. Place fillers are the people who have a purpose, but they refuse to serve in it. Those are place fillers in my mind, in my brain. Nothing of this is facts, to the world or in the Bible, or nothing concrete. In my mind, when I see someone who was 100% not fulfilling a purpose, I feel like they were here against I'm not going to say against God's will, because his will is life. If you've been born, that was in his will, period. But the way that you were conceived might not have been a part of his plan for your life. Let me say it like that. So, people who conceived against their will, forcefully, let's say that, and they chose to keep the baby still have a purpose, even though the way it was conceived was not right. You know what I'm saying? They can do one out of two things, because God gives you free will. The parent can tell the child how, if they ever ask, oh, what happened to my father, blah, 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 they can tell them what happened. Or they can say it doesn't matter because it's a part of your purpose. So go ahead and blah, blah, blah. Me personally, I've never been through that situation, so I can't weigh in on it, to be honest. But I know it's always a choice. That's one thing. Everybody in life have a choice. It's always one out of two options. We make 15, but normally it's just one or two. Either you do or you don't. I'm very black and white when it comes to these type of things. So at this point in time, you have to understand and realize what's going to be the better option. And sometimes you make the choice and it's still not a good one. But that's what I'm saying. That's why God, he's a God of many chances. It's not like you make a mistake one time and he cut you out the will forever. No, like some humans do. He's just like, oh, girl, that wasn't right, but come on, I got you. Oh, girl, you could have did better, but come on, I got you. Oh, girl, why would you waste your time on that? But come on, I got you. That's God. As soon as you be like, I'm going back, he be like, come on, girl, I got you, come on. That's who he is. When you say, you wake up, I'm going to do something materialistic. You wake up, you go outside to your car to go to work or whatever. And you've been driving this car for the last 13, 14 years. And you work so hard. And you just like, you know what? I just want a better car. You know what I mean? I want something I'm going to enjoy on my commute to work. On your way to work, you see a nice, let's say, a Mercedes. Let's just say that. Who knows? You see a nice Mercedes car, sedan or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's cute. You get to work, you're working. You know how y'all do. You get on Facebook, start scrolling a little bit. What pops up? An ad for a Mercedes. Now, by this time, we all know it's AI or whatever. If you mention the word Mercedes, by the time I finish this video, it's probably going to be 50,000 Mercedes commercials rolling through this YouTube video. But as soon as you say that thing, now back in my day, before all this AI technology and all this stuff, we would say we want something and we would see it over and over and over again in real life, not on our phones. I wanted a Porsche Panamera, midnight blue exterior, peanut butter interior, 20-inch rims. Like I specified exactly what I want. I was very specific about it. And I was just like, this is the next car I'm gonna get. No questions. None. I knew how much I wanted to pay for it. I think I wanted to pay either $24,000 or $28,000 for that car. And I said I wanted to walk in there with a check. Okay? Now, this is a while ago. Don't have me quote the years and all this stuff because I'm horrible with that stuff. But I'm pretty sure my daughter might have been maybe 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. I don't know. My youngest daughter. So we'll say about 8, 9 years ago. I don't know. Y'all, things be coming in and out. It just get jumbled up. So I said, I want this car. And one day I was doing, at that time, my pastor's hair. Never, ever met her husband, which is a funny story because he got out of the church by the time I joined her church, but she continued to preach. And she was just like, I don't care if he's a part of the church or not. I'm doing the will of God. So that's a whole nother story. Anyways, so never questioned her about her husband, never asked her about her husband, nothing like that. And I don't even remember what kind of car I was driving before I got that Porsche, if y'all gonna kill me in the comments. But I just knew that what did I have? I think I had a Mercedes GLK truck. And I had a Mercedes truck and I wanted that Porsche. And what other car did I have? I had another car. Anyways, I had that car and the Mercedes, and then I was going to trade the car that I had for the Porsche and keep the Mercedes truck, so I have a truck and a car. Okay. So I said I want this car. You know what I'm saying? I wrote everything down all the way to, I think, like the mileage. I didn't want the mileage to be like over 50 or 40,000 miles or something like that. Something very crazy, okay? Something that you probably wouldn't even think about. All right. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get this car, blah, blah, blah. So of course I'm doing my pastor's hair, and we're talking about manifesting things and how things work out, and the will of God, and, making things right in your life, blah, 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 blah. So I was just like, yeah. And so she was just like, so what? I forgot how this even came up for me to even tell her the type of car that I wanted. But, she was talking about a new Mercedes she just got. That's what it was. Her new Mercedes was in the parking lot. And it was a cute little burgundy Mercedes, and, a two-seater, and you get in, and the seatbelt adjusts itself and all this stuff. And mind you, this is 8-9 years ago. So, this is high class. Very bougie. Very demure. So I was just like, okay then. I was just like, well, yeah, I want a Porsche Panamera, because she was saying that she wanted a Porsche as well, but she wanted like a Porsche 911, like a sports car type thing. And I was like, no, I want a Panamera. I said, it's going to be blue. It's going to have the brown and the peanut butter interior. It's going to have these nice rims on it. Da, 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 da. And I'm telling her about this. And her mouth is just wide open. And I was just like, what? And she's like, you will never believe that they have the exact same car you're talking about on my husband's lot. I'm like, you're right. And she's like, I swear, sure. She said, the only reason why I know, because when they got it in, he told me to come up there and look at it because he knew I wanted a Porsche. And mind you, her and her husband not really on speaking terms, like, not speaking terms, but they're not getting along at this point. So I think he's telling her that to kind of like butter her up so they can be in a better space, whatever. Anywho, so she tells me, yes. And she goes to the website and she shows me the car. At this time, they only had a picture of the exterior. And it had tints on it, so you couldn't really see the interior. So I was just like, all right, I'll go up there and see. And the dealership literally was down the street from my house. So my house was here, my salon was here, and the dealership was here. So I said, all right, I'm going to go up there. Past this dealership all the time, never, ever, ever paid attention to it. To be honest, just never paid attention to it. So I go up there, probably like, I think right after I finished doing her hair. Because one thing I know for sure is that when you're prepared, by preparation, I mean, my credit score was good. I had money in the bank. I could afford this car. Like, I was good. You know what I mean? So preparation, and when opportunity presents itself, you have to take action. That's always been my motto, period. That's just been my motto. So because I was prepared, because I was saving up for a down payment, because I was, my credit score was in a good place, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. I drove up there after I finished doing her hair. They was already closed. So I just drove by. And I was like, okay. She gave me his number. And I called him. I was just like, hey, I'm going to come up there tomorrow to look at that Porsche, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, oh, you're my wife hairstylist and all this. I'm like, yeah. He's just like, okay, well, I'll put a reserve on a car for you so you could just come and look at it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Mind you, I don't know how much the price of the car is. None of this stuff. Like when she pulled it up online, it says something like, call the dealership, or, one of those little notes. Instead of just having the price, it's like, ask for more detail, whatever it was or whatever. So I couldn't see the price. So I said, okay. I put in, I don't know what made me do it, but I did an application with Navy Federal to get a pre-approval for this car. They gave me a check. The check was for like $29,000. I told them what type of car it was. Online, it had like the VIN number and all this stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Carfax report, all this stuff. I sent all that stuff into Navy Federal. They gave me a check. Now, you remember, this is 8-9 years ago, y'all. This is when Navy Federal was giving out money like water. You apply for something and you got a 700 credit score, you getting approved, baby. I don't care. They was giving money away. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and do that, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. It was not for $29,000. It was for $24,900. It was $24,999. So I said, okay. Now, when they give you this check, that means you don't have to pay the dealership or their bank. It's just you're paying Navy Federal back the money. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. So I said, okay, but when you present the check to the dealership, it's like cash. It's like you're paying for the car outright. It's a cashier's check. Boom. Okay. So the next day, I go up there like I told him I was going to do. And I was just like, I went there. I looked at the car. It had the rims that I wanted. It had the peanut butter interior. It had the everything. It had the mileage. The price is $29,000. That's why I got the numbers confused. The price is $29,000 for this car. I was just like, oh, yeah. I said, I can't go over $25,000. I was just like, sorry. He was just like, okay, well, cool or whatever. So I leave the dealership. If I'm not getting exactly what I want and what I prayed to God for, then I'm not going to do it. Like, that's just me. It's like, this ain't it. That's just my sign, because I could get this car and it break down on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. I go to work, had a good day or whatever. A good day to the fact where I made like an extra $3,000 or $4,000 that day. Because listen now, I was selling hair and products and all this stuff like that. So me doing my clients, in addition to selling my products, I had like a good little grip. So I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, I could just add this to the check. You see where I'm going? I could add this to the check, and now I'll be at that $29,000 that they want. Now, mind you, it's taxes, it's tags, it's insurance, it's fees, and it's all this other stuff they're going to add on the end. So it's going to take it well over to like $32,000 or something like that. But in my mind, I'm like, I told God I ain't want to pay more than $25,000 for this car. Now this car is already $5,000 over budget, plus all the other stuff. I'm going to be like $7,000 over budget. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spend that much. So I'm finishing up work. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot in my car. I didn't have Dodge Charger then. Okay, anyways. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, counting my little money, debating on if I should go up to this dealership or not. And I was just like, you know what? No, I'm just going to go home. It ain't that big of a deal. I have a nice car. I'm good. Whatever. Getting ready to leave the parking lot. This is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Getting ready to leave the parking lot. Phone call. Hello? Hey, Cheryl, this is such and such over here at such and such motor vehicle, whatever. I spoke with our manager, and he said that you can get the Porsche Panamera. He can discount it $6,000. Mind you, the price of the car is $29,000. He discounted $6,000. We'll take it at $23,000, and then when they add their little fees or whatever, it's going to take it right back to $25,000. So what I do, skirt. I go up to the dealership. I'm like, okay, cool. I call my guy friend I was dating at the time or whatever, and I was just like, hey, I need you to come up here and drive my other car home. And he's just like, what you finna do? I was just like, I'm finna. Oh! No, okay. So I was just like, okay. So he came up there, whatever, and he's like, what you finna get? I said, that right there. And I pointed to Porsche. He's like, oh, I know that's right. You know what I'm saying? So I walk in there. I have my little cashier's check or whatever. Remember, the cashier's check is for $24,999. Remember that. They discounted the car $6,000. So we had $23,900 or whatever. So we sit down, we do the paperwork or whatever. I hand him the cashier's check. There was something going on with the cashier's check because I know I had to go back the next day. But I don't remember what happened with the cashier's check. But whatever it was, it cleared or whatever. But it didn't clear at that time. So that was another thing that I feel like the devil was trying to make me like question God about. But I didn't. And matter of fact, I didn't so much that guess what they made me do? They made me drive that car home with a paper tag. I drove it right around the corner. They see my address. They're like, oh, you right there. So you go ahead and take the car. We'll figure it out tomorrow. What dealership? Now, mind you, this is my client's husband, but he don't own the dealership. He worked for the man. What dealership do stuff like that? I mean, it probably does happen. I'm not saying I'm the only person that it happened to. I'm pretty sure other people had this experience. But that's when I knew that car was mine. I put that car in my garage. I took pictures of that car, and I was just like, you home, baby. That's what I told her. I said, you home, baby. That was that. I had that car for a few years. Then I ended up selling it because I wanted the Porsche Macan. But I ended up getting something in between. But I said all that to say this. Don't get tricked at your spot when it comes to manifesting things. So I want to teach a lot of people how to make money without having to work so hard. But I can't even teach y'all that if y'all can't even fathom the thought of money coming to you and good things coming to you if your mind is messed up. If your mind is messed up and you cannot see yourself living a certain life, having a certain amount of money in your bank account, driving certain type of cars, wearing certain type of clothes, presenting yourself a certain type of way. Now, don't judge me right now because I'm in my bonnet, in my robe. But I said if I don't do this video, it's not going to get done. And I know I'm all up in the camera and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I really need y'all to hear me when I say this. These next few videos that I'm going to release on my YouTube, it is not going to be about selling digital products. It's not going to be about doing faceless content. It's not going to be about none of that. It's going to be about getting this right. Getting this mindset right. I talk to people about faceless content all the time. I tell people about this and how you can just make money just posting videos or quotes or whatever. And you get a check from social media every month. Like, who don't want extra money? A lot of people don't. You know why? Because, this is not going to happen to me. This is not going to happen for me. I'm not going to be able to grow my channel. Nobody's going to subscribe to my YouTube. Like, they give themselves all these reasons on why it won't happen for them. And if that's what they believe, that's exactly what's going to happen. And then there's those people that, I'm going to get a YouTube channel and I'm going to post every day. And then when they don't get the views, ain't nobody even tuning into my stuff. Ain't nobody even watching my stuff. All this negative self-talk. We're gonna change that. We're gonna change that. Listen, I ain't got 10,000. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I don't. But I got about 40,000 on TikTok, one TikTok page, about 30,000 on another TikTok page, about 20,000 on another TikTok page, 70,000 on Instagram page. Like, I got other avenues, 4,000 or 5,000 on Facebook. It adds up, baby. So sooner or later, once I start posting this content to all those other channels, you don't think people are going to start subscribing to my YouTube? Yeah, so plus my faceless content pages have a link in the bio that goes to the stuff that I produce regardless. Not my face, but like the ebooks and all the stuff like that too. And all those ebooks is links to YouTube channels and YouTube videos and all that stuff. Who ain't gonna plug some of their stuff in? Me? I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna plug my YouTube channel in. If they like what I got to say, they're gonna subscribe. Even though it came from a faceless channel, they still don't know that's my channel. So yeah, I just had to get on here and tell y'all that the power of the mind is huge. If your brain can control the activity in your body, you don't wake up saying, hey, I need to remember to breathe. Hey, my heart needs to beat. Hey, I need to remember how to use my hands and my legs and stuff like that. Normal people don't get up thinking stuff like that. We just assume it happens. That's how fluid you have to be with manifestation, affirmations, gratitude, positive thinking, all of that stuff. You have to be as fluid as that to know that these things are going to happen to you or happen for you. And now, once it happens for you, you're able to go on to the next level or next event that you want to happen in your life without being like, oh my God, this is really happening for me. This is happening for me. Yes. If you know that you're a chosen one, and I be telling, oh, honey, I even got a shirt that say I'm one of God's favorites. If you don't think in that type of capacity, I might not be the most prettiest, beautifulest, sexiest woman on earth, but I'm still God's favorite. Anything I ask for, God do. The only thing he hasn't done for me is have me win the lottery yet. And he already know why, because I still have a little bit more control when it comes to money and finances, because I know I'm going to be around here giving everybody money. That's a problem, because everybody ain't supposed to receive. You're supposed to know who is supposed to receive and how it's supposed to go and all that stuff like that. I have it written down, but I haven't focused on it. So, but when I do, I win the lottery. And the people that I have written down, the people that's been good to me, that's been faithful to me and all this stuff like that, they'll get what they deserve if God allows me to give it to them. So, but yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I will be back. I have ChatGPT writing up my curriculum, basically, of what I need to talk about each and every day, and posting these videos every other day, because I don't want to post it every day because it'll become overwhelming. I might post once a week, who knows, but it's 100% going to be about manifestation, affirmations, receiving, walking in purpose, positive self-talk, all of that good stuff. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And then once I get people to understand how things are fluid and how things flow and how to stay in alignment, once that happens, then I think we go to the next step of bringing that increase into our lives, because you prepared yourself to receive it. If you were to make $50,000 in a month from Faceless content right now, I am 100% guaranteed you're going to spend that money on paying bills. You're going to spend that money on getting yourself out the hole, because that's the reason why you started selling content in the first place, to get yourself out the hole and make a little extra money. But you have absolutely no plans on what to do with that extra money. You have no goals. You have nothing written down that if I receive a supernatural increase of $1,000, Lord, what do you want me to do with it? How should I spend it? There have been clients and people that I work with that are in such a deficit. I said, instead of you paying all $300,000 in debt, why don't you pay $1,500 to file bankruptcy? What? No, you can never file bankruptcy. You can never recover from bankruptcy. Listen to me. When I tell you this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. It makes absolutely no sense to me, in my brain, in my mind, for me to be in debt for 10, 20, and 30 plus years, okay, to pay back something that I mismanaged. That was my mistake. I got all these credit cards and all these loans and all this and all this debt, assuming that I would be in the same career field. I would still be making the same kind of money. I didn't think about inflation. I didn't think about the government going to pot. I didn't think about none of that stuff. All I thought about is, this is what I'm making now. This is what I can afford now. And if I use this type of money, first of all, as soon as you use credit, you use the money that you don't necessarily have, unless the plan is to use exactly what you make. If I make $1,000 a week, I could spend $900 and pay it back within a certain time frame, within 10, 15 days, pay all of that money back, and I still could live my life as normal. Because now we're playing the game of increasing the credit score and all this other stuff. That's a whole nother video. But now, okay, because you're using debt responsibly. Or if you're investing or going into debt with an appreciating asset. Okay? If anything ever happens and you need to sell, at least you will sell for more than what you bought it for. Okay? Okay. So I just wanted to, anyways, I see my Leo brain and ADHD combination all over the place, but it still be making sense. So anywho, that's what we'll be doing from now on for this next, I would say, to probably like the end of March. So I know I'll still be plugging in some, things that you can get your Faceless content and stuff going or whatever. But I just don't want you wasting time doubting yourself, investing in something and then doubting yourself about how this investment is going to work out, because that don't even make sense. Just don't invest in it at all. So I will see y'all on the next video. I'm going to go ahead and get myself together, because like I said, I just got up. I was brushing my teeth, and while I was brushing my teeth and all the stuff started downloading into me, because I was going to make videos today. And it's just like, why waste your time making videos if these people don't even understand the concept of receiving money in a healthy manner? So I'll see y'all later. Bye.